What if I told you that the $5,000 sitting idle in your bank account could be the launch pad to your financial freedom? Most people think saving money is enough, but without a strategy, your cash is quietly losing value every single day. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly what to do right now to protect that money, make it grow, and turn it into a foundation for wealth. Imagine taking action today and watching those dollars stop sitting still and start working for you. If you've been waiting for the perfect moment to take control of your finances, this is it. No gimmicks, no luck, just smart, proven steps that can change the trajectory of your life. Stay tuned, because what you do in the next few minutes could define the next decade of your financial life. Have you ever imagined if your salary came with a manual? Something like, want to spend it all quickly? Go this way. Want to multiply your money? Go that way. Wouldn't life be much easier? Especially today, because leaving money idle doesn't have the same impact it did decades ago. That's why it's more essential than ever to learn how to manage your finances strategically. The first point is understanding the purpose of the money you save. And here's a warning. It won't make you rich on its own. Unlike what many have been told their whole lives, saving money alone is not the path to wealth. This is because inflation quietly erodes the value of savings. But that doesn't mean you should stop saving. It just means you need to save the right way. The main goal of your financial reserve is not to generate wealth, but to serve as protection. It's a shield against unexpected expenses. The minimum recommended is to have around $2,000 in an easily accessible account. This amount is for basic emergencies, car repairs, home maintenance, or a broken appliance. Having this fund already prevents the need to rely on credit cards or expensive loans. After reaching that initial amount, the next goal is to accumulate the equivalent of 3 to 12 months of your living expenses. This period varies depending on your profile. If you're willing to take more risks, 3 to 6 months may be sufficient. If you're more cautious and prefer security, 12 months is ideal. For example, if your monthly expenses are around $3,000, your reserve should be between $9,000 and $36,000. This money needs to be available, but should not be used impulsively. Only touch it in the event of a real emergency. A clothing sale does not count. Outside of this reserve, there are only 2 other strong reasons to accumulate money. Making a significant purchase, like a down payment on a property or buying a car. Taking advantage of investment opportunities, such as buying stocks, rental properties, or other assets you're studying. If it's not for these purposes, leaving money idle has no sense because inflation erodes your purchasing power day by day. Here's a practical tip. Choose digital banks or online accounts that offer better returns. Many institutions without physical branches can pay higher interest rates precisely because they have lower costs. Over time, this can make a huge difference in your results. Now, the second important point is using part of your money to pay off debt. It may seem obvious, but many people save a significant amount while continuing to pay extremely high interest on credit cards or loans. That doesn't make sense. Look, while an investment might yield around 10 to 12% per year, credit card debt or personal loans can easily reach 40%, 60%, or more per year. In other words, what you earn on one side is lost twofold on the other. In that case, paying off debt is, in practice, the best investment you can make. Think about it this way. Paying a debt with 50% annual interest is like getting an immediate 50% return on your money. It's a guaranteed, risk-free gain. So, once you've built your emergency fund, the next step is to free yourself from high-interest debt, primarily credit cards, overdrafts, and personal loans. Low-interest debt, such as some student loans or subsidized mortgages, may not be as urgent. In that case, depending on your profile, it might make more sense to invest the money and seek higher returns. But here's an essential principle. Stop financing unnecessary things. Buying what you don't need with money you don't have is what keeps thousands of people in debt. If an expense doesn't generate financial returns or isn't truly essential, it should not be financed. And never forget, every dollar you stop paying in interest is a dollar that stays in your pocket. These are the first 2 fundamental steps for anyone who already has money saved. build a solid reserve, and eliminate expensive debt. But if you've made it this far, I have 3 extra steps that will help you make your money truly work for you. After all, idle money doesn't generate freedom. Ultimately, what we all seek is financial freedom, the ability to choose how to live without relying solely on the month-to-month paycheck. If you leave the same $5,000 in an account earning near the base market rate, in a year it will grow to around $5,600. That's good, but let's agree, it's still not much. Now, if part of that money is allocated to assets that grow above inflation and have real potential to multiply your wealth, the game changes completely. This is where real investments come in: stocks, real estate funds, ETFs, cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, or even equipment and tools that can generate extra income depending on your risk profile. But where to start? If you're a beginner, follow these 3 simple steps. Open an account with a reputable brokerage, preferably one that offers 0 fees and good support for beginners. Invest time in learning the basics about each type of asset. Learn how stocks, real estate funds, ETFs, and even cryptocurrencies work. Studying 15 to 30 minutes a day will put you ahead of most people. Start small, but start now. Today you can buy a fractional share for less than $10. Invest in real estate funds starting at $100, or build an ETF portfolio with accessible values. The important thing is not the initial size of the investment, but developing the habit of investing consistently. Stocks of solid companies, for example, can pay annual dividends and also appreciate over time. Real estate funds provide monthly returns. ETFs allow automatic diversification even with a small amount of money. And Bitcoin, despite its volatility, can serve as a long-term store of value. But be careful. This type of investment requires patience and a long-term vision. An example of allocating the $5,000 could be $1,000 in solid company stocks, $1,000 in real estate funds, $1,000 in ETFs tracking major indices, $500 in cryptocurrencies, and the rest reserved for emergencies. This is just a suggestion, of course, but it already shows that it's possible to build a solid foundation even with a small amount. And investing isn't limited to financial markets. There are also physical assets that can generate income almost automatically. I know people who bought simple equipment and created new income streams. For example, someone invested in a cotton candy machine to rent for parties and events and recovered the investment in just a few months. Another case involves someone who bought a used mixer and started renting it for small construction projects. The equipment paid for itself quickly and continues generating recurring income. This model can be replicated in many ways. A washing machine to offer laundry services, a deep fryer for events, a professional brush cutter for gardening, among many other options. The logic is simple. You buy something once and turn it into a continuous source of income. Once you have a reserve and start investing, the 4th step comes in. Increase your ability to invest. Saving and applying the $5,000 you have today is a great start, but that alone won't bring true financial independence. The key is to turn it into a constant cycle, growing your income and the amounts you invest month by month. This can be done with side jobs in your free time, such as selling products online, teaching, offering services, or creating content. Another alternative is further education, because the more skills you develop, the more value you deliver. And the more value you deliver, the more you can charge. You can also rethink your career, seek more profitable areas, or even negotiate better terms in your current job. And of course, any money that comes in and isn't essential for the short term should be reinvested. That's how compound interest truly works. The 5th and final step is protect what you've built. Many people start well, accumulate initial wealth, but end up losing it all due to lack of care. That's why you should avoid miracle promises. If someone offers 10% monthly returns with no risk, be skeptical. It's probably a scam. Also, take care of your physical and mental health. Accumulating money is meaningless if your quality of life disappears. And prepare to deal with something almost no one mentions: boredom. Investing in practice is a slow process. You may spend years watching your wealth grow gradually, and during that time, you'll constantly be tempted to speed things up by making poor decisions. The person who wins this game is the one with patience. In summary, if you have $5,000 saved, that amount can be the starting point for something much bigger. Use part of it to build an emergency fund, eliminate expensive debts, start investing strategically and consistently, seek to increase your income and protect what you're building. If you follow these steps, that $5,000 won't just be money in the bank, it will be the beginning of your journey to financial freedom, not because of the amount itself, but because of the mindset shift it represents. I hope this content has made sense to you. See you in the next video.